Hello, Scott. I assume you're excellent.
Yes, Adelere, I had the coolest thing happen. I was like, oh my God, the fastest way to do this is by imagination today. And because I had a scenario pop up. And even though I'd been imagining, it was incredible to just be like, oh, the fastest way to do this is imagination.
Yes, it is. And I'm glad that you turned to that.
And it was immediate, Adelere, it was immediate.
Perfect. All right. I had an experience. I imagined the particular conversation yesterday, and well, the exact words that I had in the conversation was what happened today. Just how the conversation turned out was exactly the same thing that happened today. I totally loved it.
That's amazing.
That,
Congratulations.
thank you. You're welcome. And of course, that's the power of imagination. Okay, so speaking of that, okay, hold on. Let's say we are live now. And for those who might want to join us here, is this? Yes, it is. Good. So let's get into it now. We are looking at, we've seen shifting from states of shame and guilt and worry. And of course, we want to actually practice all that today, the actual shift. And what is the way by which you make the actual shift? You can call it having a vision of the future. But another way to call it, well, actually, is describing the same thing. Having a vision of the future, describing the same thing is saying, look at exactly what you want in your heart. Know exactly what it is that you want in your heart and want it with all of your heart, nothing else. Okay? So take a look at what you want with your heart and want it with all of your heart and nothing else but your heart. That is how to do this. Now, the other way to put it is become, well, I love how it is put in the book The Alchemist. If you've read it, that's wonderful. Okay. So now it says the boy and his heart had become friends, and neither was capable now of betraying the other. Think of it that way. Like where you are is where your heart is, and where your heart is where you are. And by the word heart here, we mean what you love. You are the one deciding what you love. Okay? You're the one making a choice to love it. Okay, I love it. This is how I love it being. All right, now that we've said that, let us put it to practice. Seeing the vision, going to the end, or asking yourself and listening and wanting to actually let your heart fall in love with it and going, what do I want right now? Just to be clear, okay? You could, for example, say, okay, I want a life of total freedom and financial blessedness. But your heart doesn't even, it's not like you're failing. Yeah, that's what I want. It's not like your heart is actually there. The purpose of learning this is to learn to let your heart fall in love with it. That's exactly what Clark Kent did. He actually wanted to be with Louis Lane, for example. He wanted to fly. So he wanted that in his heart, but he didn't fall in love with it. His heart was still in love with feeling guilty. Do you understand? His heart was in love with feeling guilty. So it's like a pressure or trying to force the the feeling, trying to force the uh attention. Whereas you could just simply let your heart fall in love with it. Now, do you let your heart fall in love with anything in this world? Concentrate on the thing and become familiar with it. The most hated experience of you, if you begin to just concentrate on it, okay, you actually begin to love it. Just pay attention to it, you start loving it. So let us fall in love with our heart. Let us fall in love with this experience now. So, what you ask yourself is, what do I want? What do I really want? And then for the next few minutes, you do two things. Number one, you ask yourself, what do I want? And allow yourself to let the answer come up. Then once the answer is up, once the answer comes to the surface, once you know what it is that you really want, what do I want now that I really want in my life? Okay. Then once you know I want this, do you see that you're the defining the starting point? So it's not like your heart has to mysteriously know it from the universe. No, you are the starting point. I want it. Then make your heart fall in love with it. In other words, contemplate, I want it. I really want this. I want this more than anything else. And don't just say it, actually mean it and say it. Do you understand? Like, mean it and say it. And of course, you're saying it to yourself. So I'm not saying you've got to say it out loud. Okay? Nobody else has to know. I want it. Okay, now relax and ask yourself, what do I really want? Then once you know it, then of course go, I want it. I want it with all of my heart. And let that be true for you, knowing fully well in yourself, making up your mind more and more that you are simply only for this, and your heart has affection for nothing else in the area, or nothing else that contradicts it, only for it. Practice that now. Remember, once you know what it is that you want, the very end, the vision, begin to convince yourself that you want it with all of your heart. You really want it with all of your heart. And that is your conviction. That is the path by which, now, don't just limit the practice to this moment. This moment's practice is an example of what to keep doing. Let me give you an example of something. So, of course, I picked up the interest to play football and I decided to learn it, to do trainings of it. So I started doing the trainings and I actually had my first class with my football coach yesterday. So that is soccer, by the way, Scott. So after the practice, he gave me some drills to do, and then he asked. Of course, I went home. So today in the morning, he said, "Hey, have you done the drills?" Oh no, not in the morning. I was actually preoccupied. I was in a different space in the morning, so I said no, and I went out. And I told him I'll do it in the evening when I was back. So I got back in the evening, and then first thing I did was to uh change into my jersey, bring out my football, and start practicing it. I did as much of the drills as I could, and or as much as I could, which actually was even way more than he actually asked me to do. I actually did that, and then I ended the training session. So I told him, done. He'd meet me tomorrow, probably review the drills, ask me which ones of them I did, and I'll tell him which ones I did and how much I did them. Then he'd give me the exercises also. I did similarly with swimming. Okay. It would teach me something. I would go up, to swimming on my own, and I would practice it, or I would actually just lay in bed and simulate it in my imagination. But here's what happened from the repeated practice, repeating it, especially on my own. I developed faster. It's natural with your mind. When you associate your mind to something, it takes on the image of that thing. You're getting translated into that thing's glory um, more and more, right? That is, or that thing is getting translated into you more and more as you and that particular state or image exchange attention. So place your attention on it, and of course, that is going to make it alive. And you do that by repeating it. So, what did we do? It's simple. What do I really want? And then commit to wanting it with all of your heart. I really want it with all of my heart. As simple as that. I'll see you all tomorrow. On Friday, I mean. So until then, bye bye.